What am I doing? It must be Friday. It must be Big Sills, and it must be the National Football. So stirring it up. Yeah. Stirring it up. How you doing here? Hit the like button. We appreciate you stepping aboard. And as advertised, Phil Simms, bottom of the hour. We're working there. Phil Simms, bottom of the hour. We will talk to our friend, the man from NFL on CBS. We'll talk to him and get his thoughts. God, there's so much going on. Obviously, the news of the day is Girardi getting fired. I'm going to hit on that for about 5 minutes because, quite frankly, that's all it deserves. And I'm going to explain. It only deserves 5 minutes. And I'm going to give you the numbers to prove that. 5 minutes. I have my top 20 NFL players for 2022. I have ranked the top 32 NFL quarterbacks. Where's your boy? We'll hit on that. We welcome you aboard here. Let me give you my 5 minutes of Joe Girardi. So they blew him out. And what's the dude's name? Rob Thompson. They put Joe Girardi 2.0 in. Here, since they fired Charlie Manuel, they're 586 and 701 with 4 managers. You actually think that this is a manager problem? This is an organizational issue. What have I been telling you since I got here? Pitching, talent. They haven't done it since 12. They haven't. I don't give a shit who you put in there. It won't matter. It won't matter. You could dust off Joe Torre. It won't matter. This is an organizational thing. People are like, well, there's 4 months of... No, there's not. It won't matter. It doesn't matter. They're going nowhere. It's an organization. This is more than firing the manager. The Phillies do not develop pitching and talent. Hello. Been telling you that for over a year. The manager's the pawn. There's my 5 minutes. Because after that, who cares? You actually think these next 4 months are going to deliver you an opportunity to make the postseason? End of story. That story does not deserve more than 5 minutes of my time. More than 5. It doesn't deserve it. You don't get to sit here and talk an hour of Phillies baseball and sit here and go, well, what do you think if they do this and if they do that? And Harper, maybe they shut. I don't care. Won't matter. It's an organizational issue. That's what it is. Nothing else. All right. Thank God we move on to that. So I did see a lot of the video at the OTAs for the Eagles. Okay? Hey, Devontae looks great in shorts, doesn't he? Woo! Man, does he look good running around in shorts. AJ out there, the big old brute of a dude, man. Eagles pumping their chest. Howie's walking around, right, like he's Napoleon. Yes. See right here. See? Kiss it. Kiss it. I said kiss it. Yeah, baby. Jalen dropping them dimes out there, man. Throwing it around like, hitting everything on the planet, Yeah, helmets and shorts, man. Yeah, baby, looks good. Yeah, baby. Looks unbelievably great. Okay? Looks unbelievable. Man, does he look good out there. Man, everybody's out there, yeah? Okay? Unbelievable, man. Okay? I mean, I'll tell you what, though, there is a lot of optimism. Okay? There is a lot of optimism. And for me, when I see all the great talent that they have out there now, there should be optimism. You got guys running around in shorts. People talking about the upcoming Eagles season. Got to tell you guys, man, you're sitting here on June 3rd, and we have the offseason wrapped up. The Eagles are the best team in the offseason on June 3rd. Whew, man, Devontae catching them passes. Man, you got AJ bowed up, hitting dimes. Yeah, Jalen's looking like the guy. I'll tell you what, though, Paul, it's a good thing. I'm kidding around here a little bit. I'd rather be the Philadelphia Eagles than the Philadelphia Phillies today, or the Philadelphia 76ers, or the Philadelphia Flyers. At least I'm going into OTAs on a positive note. And it's all good. Rents due, we all know this, in September. Okay? I'm kidding around here. But end of the day here, right? End of the day here, this is a good time to be a Philadelphia Eagle fan. You should have the optimism. You should be thinking you may have a quarterback. By the way, I'm going to get into my top 32 quarterbacks in the NFL for 2022. Where's your boy rank? I'm going to get to that here in a minute. Phil Simms, I'll ask him at the bottom of the hour. How he won the offseason. I'm going to tell you something, Smile. That's important. That's important to win the offseason. Because when you build your roster, you can't build a roster in July. All the hard work that they did, you do set your team up in this offseason, and it's important. You're never going to build a team in July. You don't have training camp time. You had to put new players. You addressed all your needs. Hey, the only need they probably didn't address, and they probably feel pretty good with Marcus Epps at safety. Kid had 60 tackles. I didn't think he played all that bad last year. I'm good with that. They pretty much addressed every single need that they needed. And I'm great with that. Okay? Fantastic. Hey, Eric, even the defense was addressed. Susan's like, hey, Cowboys. Hey, Susan, just so you know, there's never a bad time on the calendar to have Susan's comment. Hey, Cowboys, you suck your ass. Okay? Okay. Slay did make a play on AJ. And all season, man, I love it, man. I love it, yeah. Howie's offseason was great. Jalen hit a 16th calling it. Yeah. Oh, you saying I got him at 16? You think Jalen's at 16? All right. Chris, they did address everything except safety. All right, let's get into that. I love lists. One of my favorite things on the planet. Okay? One of my favorite things. This is the Big Sills 2022 rankings for all NFL QBs. And where does your guy rank? Number 32. As I said, my first day on this network, Justin Fields sucks. 32. Chicago Bears. Terrible. He will never be a star player in this league. Ever. Number 31, the greatness of Mitchell Trubisky. I'll tell you what, man. He did look pretty good in Buffalo going into Chicago last year in the exhibition season. Yeah, you know why? Because he got some pretty good coaching from Brian Daboll, who was then the OC, and Ken Dorsey and Sean McDermott. He actually looks decent. Number 30, the greatness of Geno Smith. And see, these guys suck. You mean to tell me Colin Kaepernick? Here, I'm going to leave that alone. Geno Smith is 30th. Number 29, Sam Darnold. These are stiffs. Okay? These guys, I mean, really, I can't even believe I have Sam Darnold's name on a list. Number 28, is his name David Mills? Texans. Big Sills has given you my rankings for the top 32 NFL quarterbacks. Number 27, Marcus Mariota. Wow. Why do I feel I'm at the bottom of the lake and all I'm fishing for right now are carps? You know, the carp that like eats all the shit off the bottom of the lake? Why do I feel like I'm doing that? Sills is going to have Wentz ahead of Hurts? How dare you say that? Oh, yeah. Dude, I mean it, right, Xander? These are terrible. Look at the bottom feeders. Hey, Xander, Sileo's talking bad about Jalen again. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, number 26, the greatness of Zach Wilson. Listen to these, Zach Wilson, Marcus Mariota. These guys are actually in the league. Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, Mitchell Trubisky, Justin Fields. My God. Number 25. Sorry, Chris Sims. Daniel Jones. Oh, my God. These are terrible. Oh. Here we go. Number 24. Now we're starting to get a little talent here. Jameis Winston. 5-2 last year before he got hurt. Did have Sean Payton calling plays for him, though. Saints. You know, he could actually do something, though. Dude did throw for 5,000 yards. Just saying. Number 23. Now we start getting interesting. Number 23. Watch this. I probably will get letters to the editor. Tua Tagovailoa at number 23. Number 22 from the Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill. Number 21, guy I think is going to make a gigantic leap, is Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars. They actually have an adult as a head coach now instead of Urban Liar. Okay? By the way, we're doing the top 32 Big Sills rankings for the NFL quarterbacks in the league. Number 20, Jared Goff, Detroit Lions. I really don't like the guy, but with the stiff step behind him, at least he's won an NFC championship. Here we go. Are you ready? Number 19. Carson Wentz. Washington Commanders. Commander Wentz. Number 18. Matt Jones. Patriots. Top 32 NFL quarterbacks, according to Big Sills. Number 17. The greatness that is. Your quarterback, Jalen Hurts. 17, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 17. Hell, Chris Sims has him way the hell down there. And last year, I think he even had backups ranked ahead of him. Okay? Number 16, Jimmy Garoppolo, San Francisco 49ers. Number 15, Matt Ryan, former league MVP. Number 14, Kirk Cousins. Thank you, Jimmy. I think he's right. 17, 16, somewhere in there. Okay? You're not better than Garoppolo. Garoppolo's done more than you. Garoppolo's won more. Garoppolo won early, too. Garoppolo, I think, in his second year in San Fran as a starter, won the NFC. Kirk Cousins, number 14. The greatness of Cousins. Number 13, a man who is going to be making $45 million. By the way, I'm going to talk to Phil Simms about this list, bottom of the hour. Really? M. Reyes says, hey, you want to see something that's completely fake news? M. Reyes says Jimmy G played worse than Hurts in the playoffs. You must have forgot him going into bad weather in Green Bay and winning that game. You must have forgot that. In clement weather, they go up there in a snowstorm, in a driving rain and sleet storm, and they beat the number one seed in the NFC last year. You must have forgot that. Yeah. By the way, no quarterback played worse than Jalen Hurts last year in the playoffs. No one. No one had announcers screaming at him, just throw the ball to the left. Nobody. Troy Aikman was screaming at him. Number 12, Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. Number 11, Derek Carr, Las Vegas Raiders. Number 10. Boy, I'll tell you what, man. I'm not sure Deshaun Watson's going to be playing this year after what Rusty Hart and his attorney said in an interview. I got to tell you, man, I don't know. I'm going to talk a little bit later on about that. Not a good look. Okay, even if he's innocent, you can't have your attorney talking shit on the NFL like that. And it's not so much he was talking shit on the NFL. We're in a Me Too society right now. Dude, you can't be barking anything that could make you look awful and the league look awful in that. Even if you're lying. Lie to the public. Lie to the public. Don't come out and start barking like that. Saying that, I mean, I'll tell you what he said later, because quite frankly, the commissioner just may suspend Deshaun Watson for his attorney being a dummy. But I got him at 10. Number 9, Lamar Jackson. Happy endings, man. Can you believe that, dude? Oof. Number 8, Matthew Stafford. Rams. Number 7, Russell Wilson. Broncos. Number 6, Justin Herbert. Number 5, Tom Brady, Buccaneers. Number 3, Aaron Rodgers, Packers. Actually 4, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, then Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, Joe Burrow. I'm huge on him. And the number 1 quarterback, in my opinion, in 2022, the Big Sills quarterback ranking list is Josh Allen. There is your top 32 quarterbacks, and your boy is 17th with the Eagles. Is that fair? Hit the like button. I want to hear your comments on it. We all deserve happy endings. My God. Super Bowl winning quarterback at 8. Yeah, he's got a losing record. He's won 4 playoff games. 3 of them were last year. I don't know. 1 year Matthew Stafford is like, a top 5 quarterback? Since when? He had a great play caller. They put him in a good system. So wait a minute here. Let me get this right. Okay. Who would you put Matthew Stafford ahead of? Russell Wilson? Justin Herbert is a better player. Brady's better. Rodgers is better. Burrow's better. Josh Allen's better. Oh, this list. Here, where would you rank Jalen? Dude. Right? Oh, letters to the editor? That's what we're going to call it from now on, Xander. Letters to the editor. Hey, by the way, that's a great take. Crypto. I might rank Gardner Minshew ahead of Justin Fields and Mitchell Trubisky and Geno Smith. I may actually do that. You may actually have a quarterback that may be ranked ahead of them stiffs. Xander goes, I have Hurts 21 and Tua a bit higher. So here, just a recap. Fields 32, Trubisky 31, Geno Smith 30, Darnold 29, David Mills 28, Mariota 27, Zach Wilson 26, Daniel Jones 25, Jameis Winston 24, Tua 23, Ryan Tannehill 22, Trevor Lawrence 21, Jared Goff 20, Carson Wentz 19, Mac Jones 18, Jalen Hurts 17, Jimmy G 16, Matt Ryan 15, Kirk Cousins 14, Kyler Murray 13, Dak Prescott 12, Derek Carr 11, Deshaun 10, Lamar Jackson 9, Matthew Stafford 8, Russell Wilson 7, Justin Herbert 6, Brady 5, Mahomes 4, Rodgers 3, Burrow 2, Josh Allen number 1. I mean, I look at all these quarterbacks and I look at what these guys' talents are and what they've done. Okay? All 6 QBs behind Hurts need to be discussed. Sileo's lying on this. No. Wow. Xander actually thinks that I got Jalen too high on the list. I think, man, 17 and 20. Here, okay, that's a good debate. Jalen Hurts or Mac Jones? Mac Jones made the playoffs. First year starting, too. Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz. It's a good coin flip. Trevor Lawrence. Hey, you know what? Xander's got a good topic going on here. Xander's got a pretty good topic going on here. Hurts at 17. Can't rank him. You can't talk about the guys ahead of him because they're all better. Mac Jones, who would you take if you had to win a ball game? Mac Jones or Hurts? Maybe. Hey, hang on here. Here. Hurts or Wentz? We're going to find that out soon. Wait a minute. We're going to find that out in week 3. But Trevor Lawrence. Oh, that's right. We're going to find that out too. And right after that, holy cow. We're going to find that out too. No, we don't play Tua. Okay. Ryan Tannehill, you do play him. That's in week 13. Wow. I think Xander's got something here. Greg, I think he does have the strongest arm. Hey, wait a minute. Big Sil's irritating the witness. Come on, man. Okay? Come on, man. Hey, look at Nathan. Did you see Clay, special teams press conference today? I love it. Good. Debbie's like, go Carson. Whoa, no way. Debbie, don't do it, Debbie. You're going to get killed in here. Trust me. Anytime you bring Carson Wentz up in here, man, that's like bringing like the Antichrist up in here. Can't do it. Come on, Sills. Garoppolo's trash. How can a guy be 41-16 and trash, Zach? Zach, how can a guy be 41-16-1 and 5-2 in the postseason and he's trash? Your comment doesn't speak to it. You throw me some dopey-ass stats. Garoppolo, I'll throw you the number one thing that matters the most. 41-16. Dude, anybody who tells me that Jimmy Garoppolo is trash doesn't know what it takes to win. Dude, so if Garoppolo throws for 136 yards and wins, you guys want to have a guy throw for 500 yards and win? This is not a beauty contest. There's only two things you're gauged on as a starting quarterback in the NFL. You know what that is? Wins and losses. Nobody cares if you throw for 17,000 yards in a season. It's about winning the last game of the year. And when you tell me that Garoppolo sucks, you don't understand the position. That guy went up to Green Bay in inclement weather. My next guest that I'm going to get on here in a second knows what it's like to go up to Green Bay and play in that place. And in inclement weather, he beat the number one seed and knocked Aaron Rodgers and the Packers out. Guys, that's not what quarterbacking's about, throwing for big numbers. Holy cow. You don't have an understanding of the position. This next friend of mine does. 2 Super Bowl championships, should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He is in my Hall of Fame for sure. Giant legend in CBS Sports and the NFL on CBS, my friend Phil Simms. Phil, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. You know, I got a blood pressure pill if you want to take it to bring yours down a little bit.
Phil, I don't know how to explain this to people sometimes when you're talking about your position that people want to see 700 yards a game. And we're so in this like arena football mentality today that this is about winning ball games. It's not about putting up gigantic numbers. I mean, look, I want to start our conversation off with this, though. And because we were talking about Jalen Hurts, I think Jalen has a lot to prove. I don't think that style of play will win a Super Bowl. Am I wrong when I say that?
I would say no, it can't, or we haven't seen it to the degree that Jalen Hurts with the Eagles. I'll say this about, first of all, Jimmy Garoppolo, all that. It's amazing. You go to a Super Bowl, you go to the championship game, but it's all about this, and you know this. They gave up really 2 draft picks. I love this. They gave up 3 draft picks. Well, no, they had 1, so they gave 2 more to the who did they
Dolphins?
To the Dolphins, of course. So to get Trey Lance, and it's all about validating Trey Lance. That's what it's all about to me. Not all, but a big majority of it is about we got to justify what we did to move up to the 3rd pick, which I still to this day will say when they made that trade to move up, I feel very confident they were doing it to pick Mac Jones. And as time went on, so many other elements came involved. Some people in the front office, maybe the coaches, whatever, started studying more film and decided Trey Lance was their guy. But to me, that's kind of funny too. You make this move up to the 3rd pick of the draft, and you don't have it in submit who you want, but they realized they would have a choice between a couple of quarterbacks. So that's why they did it. And regardless, they want to play Trey Lance because, again, general manager, coaches, everybody involved in the organization is invested in Trey Lance.
I'm not moving off a guy, though, Phil, 41-16-1 and 5-2 in the postseason. And I'm going like this because I sold my assets, and to justify all of that equity that I gave up for the guy, you're going to compromise a winning record? Because I tell you, I think the reason I'm saying one of the best things happened to the Niners was the guy did get hurt because it paused their decision. And it's making it even harder now because, do you agree, Phil? I think the coaches are looking at Jimmy G going, I don't know, because I'm watching Trey Lance in practice and the front office is above them, and you know that dynamic.
Oh, yeah, listen, I think what Trey Lance did play last year, he played like a quarterback that, needed repetitions, needed experience. He played very recklessly, I would say, a reckless football. And to think that as I watched him, that he was going to – I remember watching the Arizona game in the studio going, wow. I mean, every play or whatever, when you don't like it, he was running, taking big hits. He's not Lamar Jackson who can skate around all the big hits and things like that. He takes punishment. And come to find out, he got hurt in that game too and was out for a few weeks. But look, their offense will look different. It'll be a different football team. They're going to play Trey Lance. It will fit Kyle Shanahan. But don't forget he had Robert Griffin III, and they're going to be a little different. But, all the running plays and everything like that for quarterbacks in the NFL, the NFL is the fastest adapting organism in the world. You know that. They've seen it. We saw, even when you watch Baltimore, their run game was a little different because everybody has seen the pulls, the traps, all the other stuff, and they copied a lot of it, and it made it harder for it to work for the Baltimore Ravens. So my last thing, let me get back to Jalen Hurts. Philadelphia is going to be physically one of the best teams in the NFL this year. They're right out of your playbook there, big man, as I see you sitting there. And I got a big bandage on my face. I had some surgery, some skin cancer, no, not skin cancer, but some skin problems or whatever. But the Eagles are going to be big, really big, very physical, and they're going to be a tough team and all that. But the big question that you asked me, can Jalen Hurts progress as a passer? And it's more than just decision-making. It's about making throws. And we did not really see that last year. I think it really got exposed in the playoff game. But another year of experience. I will say this about Jalen Hurts. Every year that I've watched him, Alabama to Oklahoma, in the pros, he has gotten better physically throwing the ball. But is it up to big-time playoff win caliber quarterback in the NFL? No, it's not. It's still far away from that.
Phil, help me out on this one too. Just because you add an asset like A.J. Brown on one side, if you're still having issues with progression reading and with the way that the Eagles are going to go into the offseason here, they're already saying, Nick Sirianni in the front office is saying, we're going to have limited practices because we're trying to get our guys to September. We're not going to be practicing a lot. They're going to go more with the organized team practices with other teams. Boy, I'll tell you what, when you're progression reading and you're learning how to do that, you need repetition. If I needed repetition to play a 3 technique, quarterbacks need triple that to be able to find progressions and read, pre-snap reads, moving guys over with their head, sliding and creating passing lanes that we're all told on defense. Some of the great ones do. You don't have to take off and run for the chains to create great passing lanes. Roethlisberger was great at that. How can you get better in 3 months if you're not practicing it?
Well, there's a lot there. First off, he's behind when it comes to doing what you're saying. Why? Because he can run. So when the quarterback sees a little trouble or doesn't see it clearly, and if you have that ability to really run, which I think he is a big, strong, physical runner who does take care of himself, then, why sit in there and try to figure it out? Let's just run and get 5. And then we all go, oh, my God, he's a dual threat. And, I love how everybody gets it. But sometimes you run for 5 yards, but you pass open the wide open 20-yard throw that's down the field that you didn't see. That happens. It happens to all quarterbacks. But I think it happens to more of the guys that have the option to run. And why does that? Because let's just take Tom Brady, the greatest example of all. Why is he so good in the pocket? Because he has no choice. For him to have success, even in high school, he had to work the pocket, find 1 to 2, do all those things. And now we see him, in his 40s, and he's excelling as well as ever because he has all that experience of standing in the pocket because he has no choice, moving in the pocket, throwing off balance, which he is really good at, and still has, and he's perfected his throwing motion. And so that's why, listen, he can still make big time, high difficulty throws in the NFL. Giving time with that receiving core and everything else, it's brutal. But
Phil,
so,
do you agree then
yeah.
that those type of quarterbacks, then it's almost a built-in quality that you and those drop back quarterbacks have, where you've got to learn to be patient. When you have the ability to have the wheels, it maybe takes that patience away from you a little bit.
Sure.
Where, hell, I have the other option to run. I can run for the sticks.
Sure. That's really what I was trying to explain, is that, yeah, it's an option that a lot of quarterbacks don't have. So listen, it's a new game. It's entirely different. When I watch, I absolutely, or accidentally, I should say, was watching a little something, trying to make a video for kids, watching plays and quarterbacks and seeing all these things that we're talking about now. So, for the Philadelphia Eagles, the OTAs, all that, the experience is going to get there. But Dan, I will say this: practicing against other teams, to me, is far more beneficial, because it's uncertainty. It's more like a game. It's limited reps, but they're high quality instead of against your own team every single day. So I think and it preserves your team a little bit too. I like these teams that get together and have these practices, because I think it serves a great purpose. And we did it even when I was playing, and I loved it when we did it. It's just like,
absolutely.
Yeah, it was really good. So that'll be good for the Philadelphia Eagles when they do that.
Who do you have as a favorite in your opinion now? We're getting out to the 90-man roster. July's coming up. We got camp next month. I mean, getting ready to go into camp, barring any kind of catastrophic injuries. Who do you like coming out of the East, or at least going into the first quarter pull of the season?
Oh, the East of what? The
NFC East.
Oh, geez, I really haven't thought about this, Dan, much. But, I'm very intrigued by the Eagles and what they do. Their offensive line, arguably one of the best in the NFL last year. It's just gotten better. And the defensive line is going to be better too. So that's going to be interesting. In the East, in the NFC, if I had to take a team, I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Over to Cowboys here. I want to start this with your former team, the Giants here. Would we agree one of the burning questions is going to be, look, Jerry Reese, and when you had Tom Coughlin in the building, and you had, again, the Maras on top with the Tishes, there was really a great structure, and it's always been known to have that great structure since George Young. You struggled a little bit when you first got there because they were revamping that front office from my uncle to George Young. But, it was stable for such a long time. Is that the big dynamic with the Giants right now? How do they weather through this, figuring out Daniel Jones, the new coach, the new GM, and how that dynamic works? You think that's the big question going into this year for them?
Oh, well, sure it is. It's really, when's the last time we saw a team that, two things, and I'll make them quick. When you get into that dungeon, which the Giants are in, it can take 10 years to get out. And you need everything. You need smarts, you need players to come through, and also you need some luck. So, but how about being arguably one of the worst teams in the NFL last year, and then strapped by the salary cap? So
unbelievable.
Bad team. We got salary cap space. We can make a lot more improvements. And the Giants, they had to do double. I thought they drafted very well, but also they had money issues and tried to control that. But I do think they finally have an offensive line, and everybody talks about Daniel Jones. And here we go. What happened to the Giants when Daniel Jones was out for the end of the season? They couldn't even get a first down. And that's not exaggeration. They couldn't get first downs. They couldn't score, and they looked, Jason Garrett, he's the problem. No, it got worse, and it got a lot worse once Daniel Jones was out there too. So this is going to be interesting. See what they can do. It's, of course, a big year. Daniel Jones played behind arguably the worst offensive line in football last year.
He did.
So we'll see. I do have hopes as usual. I'm a Giant fan, but I think the Giants have done a really good job during the offseason, what they've done with their football team, the draft, and also Brian Dable. I have a lot of faith in him. Just his design, his mannerisms, the design of the offense, and how he's going to really put a tremendous focus on Daniel Jones and this will be it. As I said to somebody, and maybe my son said it, or maybe I told him, Daniel Jones is playing for $130 million this season. That's what he's playing for, his future. Because to get a second shot at being a franchise quarterback, you got to be lucky to get that second shot. So this is a truly, without even exaggerating, a make or break year for his career.
Phil, please help me on Carson Wentz here. Last year, 27 touchdowns, 7 picks, 94 quarterback rating, 3,700 yards passing, 9-8. There's no doubt the Titans game, worst 8 minutes of football I've ever seen by a quarterback. It finished horribly against the Jaguars. But then I look at the numbers and I look down at it and I go like this. Those are franchise numbers, man. I mean, who is Wentz, and is this his last stand in Washington, in your opinion, to be considered a franchise guy?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think he's really fortunate to get this next chance. And, the Washington football team Commanders, they don't want to start with another quarterback in a rebuild. Ron Rivera needs to win some games this year. So we'll see what he can do. But last year, the pass protection by the Indianapolis Colts and their unbelievable offensive line was not that good.
No.
He missed too many throws. He underthrew so many deep balls, because I watched every one of their games during the year. And there were some good moments. He's tough, all that. But I'll just say this to you. He didn't take advantage of all the things that come with being a quarterback in the NFL. This is just my assumption, is that you can influence players mentally, physically, with your leadership, with your communication, with being tough or being nice, whatever it is. You have to know how to handle players that way. And I don't think that's a great skill he has. But maybe third time's a charm, and he'll find a way to be a really good teammate, communicate with his guys, and drive them to be better. As I watch all these quarterbacks in the NFL now, and especially when I was doing games, I'd be around them, and I would leave the buildings and go, wow, the quarterback, whoever it was, the good ones, of course, just go, they got control of the team. They use their position and power to influence guys to be better. They put pressure on coaches, all those things. And I don't know if Carson Wentz has all those intangibles, but it's a big deal, I think, when you talk about quarterbacks in the NFL now.
A couple last questions for you, Phil, but I'll tell you something here. I'm going to tell you my favorite moment that you had for me as a quarterback. Wasn't in a game. Wasn't in the game. I'm going to tell you where it was. I remember this, and I'm sitting there, and I'm at the University of Miami, and I'm watching you do this. Guy came up and asked you a question about Lawrence Taylor when he came back off of suspension. And he asked you a question. I forget, it could have been Warner Wolf or one of them guys in there. And he goes like this, what do you make? And he goes like this, well, we're hoping everything comes back and everything's all good. Well, Phil, he goes, I gave you my answer. I told you my answer, and we're hoping everything, we're praying for him. We're hoping everything works out for him here. Enough of it. I already told you. That kind of stuff right there, Phil, to me, that's the stuff that your teammates look at and go like this. This dude's got my back. So when this guy's getting knocked down, he's got the double chin strap because he's getting his ass kicked. Is that the stuff you're saying that Carson Wentz has to work on? Is that kind of locker room stuff? And you did that without even knowing. It was just you, because that was your presence.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I think, you have to have your teammates' backs. You have to be able to have a communication where you can say things to your wide receiver like, wow, you ran the route this way, but I need this. You can talk to your offensive lineman, which I think that was one of my good qualities, that I could communicate with my offensive linemen, especially centers, Bart Oates. I would go to the sideline and sit right next to him. And I would say things. I just go, I don't know why he didn't punch me in the face. And he would go, Phil, it's not my guy. And I said, hey, that's what I'm saying. I don't care. You're and what's amazing, then he'd go, okay, I'll take care of it. I don't have time to go talk to every one of them. You're the leader, which is great. That's really an untold. I need to write this in my offseason notes. Centers are huge to success of football teams.
Oh, they're the quarterbacks of the O-line.
No question. They got to be communicators. Of course, we want them to have talent. They help the quarterback, but they really got to do it and set the tempo for the whole offensive line. And I played with some really good ones. And Bart Oates was not only a leader of men, he was a really good player, and our communication, it was truly great.
Absolutely. Two last questions here. Phil, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. I'm underwhelmed by what they did. Maybe that puts a lumberyard on their shoulder. How do you see the Cowboys this year going in to the 2022 season and what they've done in the offseason?
Well, listen, I thought the Cowboys, they got beat in the playoffs by the 49ers. I said, man, that was one. There were so many good athletes, and it was such a physical game that it was, captivating watching it. And the Cowboys, so many good parts. But, the big thing is we all know the offensive line's not what it used to be. They can't overpower people, all the stuff where they dominated the pace of games and the physical part of it. When you have a really tough physical offensive line, you're usually going to have a really tough physical defense too. Cowboys kind of had that. Their defense was impressive for most of the year. Of course, we all know about Micah Parsons and his greatness as a rookie. My gosh, it was unbelievable. I thought he did run out of gas a little bit at the end of the year, but it still was a special year. But the Cowboys, I don't see the offensive line being in the same air or breath as maybe the Philadelphia Eagles and some of the good old lines in the NFL. It's going to be interesting to see. Losing Amari Cooper, and the defense, a lot of speed, a lot of what I consider some dynamic guys, but still they give up too many plays.
Final question.
Passing game, that's for sure.
Final question for you here. Doug Peterson gets an opportunity to kind of be what Andy Reid did when he was let go in Philadelphia, goes to Kansas City. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is here, and here's another talent here. And now we finally have an adult in the room. Instead of Urban Meyer, we have Doug Peterson now down in Jacksonville. The impact that you think he has on that team, on Trevor Lawrence, they get NTN back too. He got hurt last year. He didn't get a chance to run the ball for them at all. He was a first rounder. Do you have expectations for the Jags with Doug Peterson down in Jacksonville?
Yeah, I do. I like second time around coaches, especially ones that had a little success or showed they can manage a football team and all that. And Doug Peterson, of course, did that in Philadelphia. Watching the interviews on TV, reading the articles and all that, it seems like the players are really excited. There's of course, a different environment. Doug Peterson has a great way about him. He's a lot like Frank Reich. They relate to guys really well, especially to the quarterback. And I just watching Trevor Lawrence's interviews on TV, smiling, you can see that, oh my God, it's so different that it's the whole coaching of the football team and everything makes you feel better. And Doug Peterson's going to take care of Trevor Lawrence. He's going to call plays, design things to make it much easier for him. I thought overall, I'm being pretty tough here, but I thought it was an underwhelming rookie year for Trevor Lawrence. I know he wasn't on a good team. Everybody, of course I know that. I don't judge people on their one-loss record sometimes because I judge the circumstances they're in. No matter how great you are, you can't overcome it. But with Doug Peterson, but to go back, the last game of the year against the Colts, I saw him play and I went, wow, it kind of came together for him. I hate to pin it all on one game, but that game was so much more impressive than all the rest of his games combined. So that had to give everybody hope down in Jacksonville. And it has to put Trevor Lawrence in a great frame of mind, especially going through the offseason with Doug Peterson going, wow, this NFL is going to be a lot easier for me this year than it was last year. So I believe in Doug Peterson. I think it was a great hire by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Phil, I got to sneak one more in on you. Josh Allen, I got number one.
Yeah.
As my quarterback going into 2022. 30 seconds here. Am I nuts here by saying that?
Well, of course not. I love this, all the narratives that go with Josh Allen, because there were so many people, he's no good. He can't. His completion percentage. Oh, well, completion percentage is a lot of times just become a factor of your decision making. Are you willing to take the shots and take chances? Or are we going to be Johnny Checkdown? He was not that guy. But Josh Allen is one of the top 5 players in the NFL without question. I don't even think it's an argument. And he has just transformed himself. I think there'll still be a high-flying offense, even with Brian Daboll out of there. So he's tremendous. When he was a rookie, Dan, he was must-watch TV. Not even close. but damn, was it exciting. And I had turned to Boomer once and I said, this is like, no matter what, it's almost a train wreck sometimes, but you can't take your eyes off their games. And the second year, he got in the playoff game down in Houston. Everybody, again, all the haters, I thought he played really well for a second-year quarterback in a playoff game on the road. But we all looked at one thing that had nothing to do with the outcome of the game, and they judged him on that. But he's been tremendous the last couple of years, and I don't see that slowing down.
Phil, thank you so much on this Friday for finding time for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, my friend.
All right, big guy, you take care, and don't forget, take those blood pressure pills.
That is Phil Simms. I appreciate it, my friend. The great Phil Simms there. Yeah, man. I mean, good. I'm glad to hear that, too, because I really love Josh Allen, man. I think this guy's going to be the best player at that position in the NFL. Okay, please hit the like button. Don't forget, my friends, Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. Finding an attorney could be one of the most important things that you can possibly do. When you're talking about getting fair compensation for you and your clients, this is the number one thing that you have to look out for your family. For the people, it's not a slogan. It's who they are. It's what they do. This is what John Morgan has done for 30 years. Guess what? Collect settlements for all of his clients, $13.5 billion. They are the biggest casualty law firm in the United States of America. There's no such thing as a fender bender. The army of attorneys, over 800 strong, with Morgan & Morgan, our offices in Philly, New York, Florida, and across the country, ready to do battle for you. That's right, to do battle for you. Do me a favor. Call them, 800-512-1600. The call is free. The consultation is free. 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. Open 24/7, 7 days a week. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. When you're hit from behind in a car crash, the insurance company may try to say, you can't possibly be hurt. It was only a few miles an hour. It's simply not true. You see, here's the thing. Getting hit at 10 miles per hour is like falling off of this. 15 miles per hour, like this. And only 25 miles per hour, this. Injured, dial pound law. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Go for the pulls and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
At Action News, we cherish every moment, and it's our profound responsibility to bring you closer to your world. Never miss a moment. Trust the people at Action News.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again? You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Big Sills National Football Show. We're working on getting John McMullen live from OTAs also with the Philadelphia Eagles. So hang tight. Hopefully we'll be able to pry John loose. He does so much work for JAKIB Sports, and hopefully we're able to do that to see if we can get John with us. So some news coming out of camp and all the videos that you're seeing. By the way, A.J. Brown looks like a beast. And as I told you, Phil Simms, New York Giant legend, is picking you to win the East, even with a quarterback who many people think is limited. Nobody's saying here that the Eagles can't win the East. I said the Eagles are going to win the NFC. That's my prediction. I personally just don't think you have a star quarterback. But Tennessee was the number 1 seed in the AFC. Nobody would confuse Ryan Tannehill on being a franchise quarterback or a star quarterback. Nobody would look at Jared Goff and go, that guy's a franchise guy. He went to the Super Bowl. These are guys active today. Nobody's going to confuse those guys. What's the one thing that got Jared Goff thrown out of Los Angeles? He couldn't protect the football. It drove Sean McVay, and his inconsistency, obviously, too. It drove him crazy. To me, do you know where Jalen Hurts, where he really has to improve? Dude, don't have fumbles. Don't turn the ball over. You don't have to throw for a boatload of yards. You got a lot of talent around you. Let the team carry you. I would say this to you, and I will make a comparison to you about, and here, maybe this is the best that I could do for you here. Jalen's never going to carry and pull the caboose. He is the caboose. A team has to carry him and pull him along. Okay? He's not the tractor. He's the trailer. That's how I see Hurts. He's not going to carry that team. Not yet. Can he maybe, watch this, dude, maybe suck. I hate that conversation. I totally hate that conversation. Maybes. So I'm going on facts of what we see today. Okay? He's a trailer. He's not the tractor. But even Phil Simms is saying that. But yet, he picked the Eagles to win the East. I'm picking the Eagles to win the East. Dude, I wouldn't go crazy on what you're watching right now at OTAs with guys in helmets and shorts. I mean, it's optimism. And by the way, I don't want to dent that. I don't want to take that away from you. Okay? I don't want to take that away. You should have that. I want you to have that. I want you to build the team up because the expectations should be high. Why can't he develop, Sills? You're not practicing it. He's not practicing it, Zach. They're not going to have, even Phil said, so you're not going to have him in reps that are high-quality reps. You're going to have him in organized team scrimmages. That's not high-quality reps. OTAs are not high-quality reps. They're not. They're guys in shorts in a controlled environment. Playing quarterback is an uncontrolled environment. You never know what's going to happen. The great quarterbacks and the great coaches in the NFL all adjust in-game. Nothing's perfect. That's why I love Pro Day. Pro day, don't tell me what a kid does on pro day. I could care less. He's home field advantage. He's throwing to his boys. They all know, they practice what they're going to do. Everybody's going to look good on pro day. That's why they try, when they get you at these combines, they try to put you in uncomfortable situations. Because that's what the quarterback position is, uncomfortable situations. You're hurt. They're playing a different front. Guy's having a hell of a game. You have an injury on the field. It affects your pass protection. You lose your number one back who can't pick up blitzers. All of that plays into it. Look at what the Rams had to do with Matthew Stafford after Beckham got hurt in the Super Bowl. It took them a quarter and a half to adjust, but they did. And then they got into the fourth quarter. Donald makes the sack. Matthew Stafford makes plays with Cooper Kupp, and they win the Super Bowl and come back and beat the Bengals. That's playing the quarterback position, not controlled environments. However, again, I want you to have great expectations. They're not installing the full playbook for OTAs. Why? Why not practice what you're going to do? So then it becomes second nature. Greg brings a great point up. Yeah, your punt team sucks. And so does your punt return team. You do it by committee, and then you put that stiff Jalen Reagor back there. How about putting somebody back there? I'd put Miles Sanders' ass back there. Somebody that can actually make plays. Seriously, put a back there. Put somebody back there that can make a play. Right? All right. We're hopefully going to be able to catch up with John McMullen, OTAs this week with the Eagles. Also, I got my top 20 NFL players, any position. It's not just quarterbacks here. I gave you my list of quarterbacks, my top 32 NFL quarterbacks rankings, my top 20 NFL players. Hit the like button. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Welcome back. National Football Show. It's your boy Big Sills. Appreciate Phil Simms in the last hour coming aboard with us. And we thank him very much for stepping in. And by the way, next week, Chris Simms will step in with us and we'll talk to him about his list. And I'll go over my list with him. And you guys can take your pot shots at him. So Chris Simms will be on with us next week and we'll talk to our friend and get his thoughts. Also, John McMullen, we're working on him coming aboard the program, OTAs today with the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of optimism, and it's a good thing. So hopefully we catch up with John. Before I get into my top 20 NFL players, this is not quarterbacks. This is everyone who I think are the top 20 NFL players. Okay? Best players in the game. Not doing the top 100 like the NFL.com does. My top 20 NFL players. I'm going to get to that. I want to show you guys something when it comes to having a great career and you think a guy sucks. What do you guys think of Ryan Fitzpatrick? 17 years and 9 teams. What do you guys think of him? What do you guys think of Ryan Fitzpatrick's career? Okay, what do you think? What do you think of Ryan Fitzpatrick and what he accomplished? You think he's a stiff? Matt Nagy. I don't know why I like saying that guy's name. Fitzmagic's a journeyman. 9 teams would say that. Fitz has a weak arm, but accurate. Okay? Russell Wilson is regretting signing with the Broncos. I doubt that. Journeyman nerd. What, because he went to Harvard? Well, maybe that. Fitzpatrick is trash, could never be a consistent starter. Let's see here. Accurate. Let me throw something at you here. I can't wait till Jalen Hurts passes him. You think Jalen Hurts plays 17 years? Ryan Fitzpatrick ended his career with 35,000 passing yards. That's more passes than Joe Namath, Terry Bradshaw, Troy Aikman, and Kurt Warner. His 223 passing touchdowns are more than Joe Namath, Terry Bradshaw, Troy Aikman, and Kurt Warner. In his 17 years, Ryan Fitzpatrick had better numbers than every one of those Hall of Famers. And you guys say he sucks. I think the point here is, I think you're not understanding really how hard it is to play that position. Okay? I think you're a little, you just think it's like going out and playing in your backyard. Okay? None of them played as long as Fitzpatrick. You said he sucked. Nathan Peterman's not going to put those kind of numbers up. McCown's not going to put those kind of numbers up. Nick Foles ain't going to put those numbers up. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's a journeyman. He sucks. He's a guy holding a clipboard. Threw for 35,000 yards. And he actually, if you think about it, How many yards did McNabb throw for? What's Donovan McNabb's stats? Let's take a look at that. Wonder if he's... Let's take a look at that. You guys think it's so easy to play quarterback in the NFL and that Jalen's going to be some superstar. So, wow, look at this. Donovan McNabb has thrown for 37,276, and Ryan Fitzpatrick threw for 35,000 yards. Ryan Fitzpatrick, or McNabb, threw for 234 career touchdowns, and Fitzpatrick threw for 223. And he played 14 years. Pretty comparable numbers. Played longer. Well, I would say this to you, Charles. There were some years he didn't start or play. He backed up because he's a scrub, like you guys have said. He's a scrub. Here, I look at Ryan Fitzpatrick. He didn't play all the games everybody played. Just because you play 17 years doesn't mean you play the amount of games those guys played. That's a misnomer. Backup quarterbacks sometimes don't even see the light of day in a regular season. Okay? Yeah, he threw for 2,276 more yards, McNabb did, than Ryan Fitzpatrick. The point I'm making here is, you think these guys that come into the league, and when you look at, hey, how about this? I got a question for you. Do you think that Jalen Hurts throws for 35,000 yards in his career? You think he throws? No, he didn't. He played 14 years. You think he's got 14 credited NFL years? Okay? Backup quarterbacks are elite. They are? Okay. John McMullen, fantastic. He's going to be with us at 5:30 Eastern Time, OTAs, okay? With the Eagles. All right. Man. 35,000 yards. Ryan Fitzpatrick, guy you guys call a scrub. Threw for more yards than Namath. Threw for more touchdowns than Namath and Aikman. Yeah. But he played longer. Oh. Okay. He played longer. You mean he backed up longer? The guy was on 9 different teams. Okay? Nathan, thank you so much, man. You know we have great guests on all the time. Yeah. Fitzpatrick has played for Dude, he played on 9 teams, Greg. What up, Hi? Thanks for stepping in with us. But guys, please hit the like button. You guys have been great. Thank you so much. I thought Phil was great picking the Eagles to win the East. How are you not happy with that? I know his comments about your boy wasn't very good, but I mean, this is about the football team here. This ain't just about him. Personally, you know what I'm expecting Jalen to do this year? Dude, just don't lose anything. I'll give you a comment that Jimmy Johnson makes all the time. I'm not looking for you to make spectacular plays. Just don't make that play that loses us the ball game. Just don't lose that. I told you. And again, I'm burying the lead. I'm picking you to win the NFC. And I think that's going to be fashionable. By the way, everyone I've brought on this program doesn't think Big Sills is nuts. I got Phil Simms now saying that the Eagles are better than the Cowboys. It's pretty good. Okay? Rico goes, Fitz got a lot of garbage yards. 35,000 garbage yards. Yeah. Well, what would you consider Jalen Hurts' numbers against shit teams this year? You didn't beat a team that was a winning record. What would you call that? Quality numbers? Thank you, Michael. Dude, don't throw shade on someone and then turn around and use your idiotic mentality to throw shade on someone else, and yet you turn around and you go, well, Jalen's he's going to be a prototypical quarterback. And then you do this. Wait a minute. Most of Hurts' numbers last year were against shit teams. BR thinks I'm nuts? Why? What am I saying? A guy throws for 35,000 yards and 223 career touchdowns. And you think, and he's ranked 32nd in NFL history. I'm sorry, maybe because I played a limited amount of years in the NFL, maybe I look at that a little different than you. You guys probably think it's that easy to make the NFL. Okay? Only 28,000 men have ever made the NFL, and there's only 16,000 of us alive today. So just to give you that number too, it ain't that easy, guys. It's not that easy. It's not as easy as you think. Okay? Hey, I'll tell you something about Gardner Minshew. Crypto, you're making me think about redoing my list because who would I rather have, Gardner Minshew or Justin Fields? Gardner Minshew. Would I rather have Gardner Minshew than Mitchell Trubisky? Maybe. Would I rather have Gardner Minshew than Geno Smith? Yes. Would I rather have Gardner Minshew than Sam Darnold? Yes. Would I rather have Gardner Minshew than David Mills? Yes. Would I rather have Gardner Minshew than Marcus Mariota? Yes. These are all top 32 quarterbacks because they're starters. Yes. Okay. Stats only tell half the story. Okay. Well, you're paid on them today. I don't think the NFL cares how long a backup lasts as long as he's not starting. Don't compare McNabb to Fitz. I didn't. I compared his numbers. Did you not listen, Charles? I compared his numbers. They were pretty comparable. So you did I say that he was a better quarterback than Donovan McNabb? Where did you hear that? Excuse me. Did I actually say that? Did I actually say, hey, Fitzpatrick's a better quarterback than McNabb? Did you ever hear me say that? Or did you ever hear me say that he's better than Aikman? I said he had better numbers than Aikman and Namath and Bradshaw and Kurt Warner. Man. Touchy. You guys are touchy. Hey, I like that, man. It's their Harvard. I probably don't like him because he went to that woke college. Hey, Kenzo, these dudes don't listen, do they? They hear what they want to hear. Normal. Okay? That's not the point I made, Edge. Let's say Jalen throws for 2,500 yards in 8 years. The Alabama baby. If he throws for 2,500 yards this year, he won't have a job next year. Dan was making a point. Ryan was close to the production. Correct. That's it. That's it. My point also is how hard it is, okay, to play in the league. You guys aren't giving Ryan Fitzpatrick his credit for playing the position, and I'm trying to tell you how hard the task ahead of Jalen is. A guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick played 17 years, put up 35,000 yards, 223 touchdowns. It is hard to play this position, and the expectations that all of you have on him are awful lofty. Fitz is the NFL what Superhead is to the rap industry. Sorry, McNabb just has a soft spot for. Hey, Charles, I would never tell you that. Hey, watch this. If we're playing a pickup game of football, Sills wants Fitzpatrick over that ain't working. I'm taking Donovan every damn. I would never not have him. Hey, Manster, when you look at Ryan Fitzpatrick, though, tell me he doesn't look like Conor McGregor. You put that gold chain around him, man. It's probably the beard, dude. I dig the beard. 82 passer rating and only 29 rushing TDs. Oh, because he's a pocket quarterback. Even Phil Simms says you can't win with Jalen style. Did you hear him say that? You can't win Super Bowls with that style. That's all Phil said. But he picked you to win the East. That's all I've been. So a guy guy's got 2 Super Bowl rings, a Super Bowl MVP. He's on CBS. He says it. Okay. Phil's a turd if he says it. Dude, selective hearing. Here, look at Randall. Fitzpatrick is nope. I never brought up winning, dude. Again, listen. I never brought winning up. Hey, and if you want to go winning records, take a look at Matthew Stafford's and tell me what Matthew Stafford's winning record is. Okay? Tell me what Matthew Stafford's winning record is. He don't have one. I'm supposed to rank this guy high and talk about him being a Hall of Famer. Right? Matthew Stafford's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's not. Now, if he puts a couple more Super Bowls and he gets that record above 500, then you can start having a conversation. You know Eli Manning? Hey, by the way, you know Eli Manning is 117-1 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's 500. And that guy's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer because of the 2 Super Bowl rings. That's it. He don't beat Brady in those games. He ain't going to the Hall of Fame. Not with that record. He's got a common record. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it. Production question. How much production should a wide receiver that you drafted 10th overall in today's NFL in a 17 game? That's a great freaking question. Xander, put that up. Mark Sanchez is out of the league. Ryan Fitzpatrick played 17 seasons. Production question, how much? That's a great question. That is a great question. That's a great question. Okay? That's a great question. Production question. How much production should a wide receiver that you drafted 10th overall in today's NFL in a 17-game season? And know this, you've never had a 100-catch receiver in your team's history. Wide receiver, not tight end. Wide receiver, WR. $17 games. Hey, you want to know what 1,000 yards is? Okay. 61 yards a game is 1,000 yards. Okay. In today's NFL, top 10 pick. I don't think it's Justin Jefferson numbers. That guy's off the charts. Justin Jefferson is off the charts. 1,500 yards first 2 years, almost 300 receptions, like 17 or 18 touchdowns. That's off the charts. Okay? I would say for the 10th pick in the NFL draft, in today's NFL, I would say 85 catches, 1,200 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Let me figure this out here. That's 70. That's about 71 yards a game. Okay? It's about 71 yards. Kenzo says that Smith would have had 1,200 yards. Kenzo, if Devontae Smith was in Cincinnati, would he have Jamar Chase's numbers? Here, let me ask you this one. If I put Devontae Smith, here, that's a great question. My top, just my top 10 quarterbacks. I'm going to do something here for you. Watch this. If Devontae Smith is in Buffalo, does he have 1,500 yards? Maybe. If Devontae Smith's in Cincinnati, does he have 1,500 yards? Maybe. If he's with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, does he have 1,500 yards? Maybe. If he's with Tom Brady, does he have 1,500 yards? Yeah. If he's with Russell Wilson, maybe. DK's put up some good numbers up in Seattle. If he's with Matthew Stafford, look what he did for Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp had a transcending year. Does he have 1,500 yards with Lamar Jackson? No. Deshaun Watson, if he's not cuffed, yes. Derek Carr, maybe. If Devontae Smith, can you imagine if this had happened? That Philly stays where they were in the draft 2 years ago and they draft Michael Parsons and the Cowboys took Devontae Smith? Would Devontae Smith have 1,500 yards with Dak Prescott? Would he? I'm going to get to my top 20 NFL players here in a minute. If Devontae Smith played in Dallas, would he have 1,500 yards last year with Dak Prescott? This is a false narrative. Smith had a better rookie season than everyone but 3 receivers. 900 yards is mediocre, dude, in today's NFL. That's mediocre. It's good for the Eagles. But 900 yards is mediocre. Here, he had a better season. Think about that. What he just said, 900 yards. 900 divided by 17. You have 52 yards. You think 52 yards a game is a good game? For an NFL receiver in today's league. Come on, man. Come on, dog. 10th pick in the draft, he gets 52 yards. The guy in Miami had a better year. And he had nobody throwing to him. Get out of here, man. 50 yards a game. Really? That's what your expectations of calling a good year is? Not here, man. Dude, on some football teams, guys with 900 yards, they're number 3s. CeeDee Lamb had 1,100 yards. Yeah, and CeeDee Lamb was the number 2 dude. Jamar Chase had 1,500 yards with Joe Burrow. Nathan, you're right. Your guy was open. They couldn't find him. They couldn't find him. If you're winning, do the receiver numbers really matter? No, so, yeah, when I give a guy $100 million, yeah, then why the hell did you give the guy $100 million? Here's another one. Do wide receiver numbers matter? Well, if I gave a guy $20 million a year, I would hope they do matter. Yeah. Yeah. I could have got anybody to do that. It's just someone could go like that. Hey, $100 million, hey, doesn't really matter the numbers. Hey, let me say this to you. Okay? Yeah, but AJ got hurt last year a little bit too. So, yeah, I get it. Smitty had more yards than Brown last year, but Brown was hurt. Can you imagine this? How about this? So the Titans lose A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry, and they still are the number 1 seed? My friends, that's coaching. Okay? Oh, my bad. Xander's saying this. I'm saying this year Smith will. Yeah. I kind of said that, I think, the other day. That dude's going to create space for Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith if the quarterback can find him. Crypto, Tebow. Tebow's in the land of misfit toys along with Colin Kaepernick in my book. There's certain guys that are on the island of misfit toys, and those two dudes are there. Okay? It's like talking Philly baseball and going over the same minutia of why you suck for 10 years. It doesn't matter who the manager is. It doesn't matter. Why talk about the same shit over and over again when you know what the problem is? Front office sucks. Hey, get this. The Eagles have the best front office and the safest coach or manager in Philly. Okay? Doc, everyone's kind of like, I don't know. Even though, hey, I love Doc. We had him on yesterday. Okay? They just blew out the Flyers coach. Joe Girardi got blown out. Sirianni's got the safest gig in the building or in the town. Nick Sirianni. Maybe the biggest question marks in the entire city last year was Nick Sirianni. Excuse me. Who do you think has a safer job, Daryl Morey or Howie Roseman? Or Dave Dombrowski? Actually, Dave's got world championship rings, though. He's got world championship rings. Okay? I know that he did a lot down in Miami with Larry Beinfest. Larry Beinfest did a lot of great stuff down with the Marlins. Let's not forget, though, man, he's up in Boston. He does, this guy was pretty good, man. I mean, Dave Dombrowski, I know Dave very well. Dave used to come on my show when I was doing sports talk in South Florida. And Dave's got championship rings. Yeah. Hey, Randall, the island of misfit toys. That's what I called topics. Like Joe Girardi's there at the island of misfit toys. I don't talk about the island of misfit toys. BR goes like this. You can't throw at what you can't see. I got to take a time out here. All right. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Don't forget, my friends, Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. They do not get paid unless, you get paid. Most important thing when it comes to Morgan & Morgan is you getting your family's fair compensation. Finding an attorney, if you're hurt or injured on the job, that has been a priority at Morgan & Morgan for over 30 years. It's who they are. For the people, not a slogan. It's what they do, and they've been doing it for 30 years. That's right. Finding that compensation for you and your family. There's no such thing as a fender bender. when it talks about Morgan & Morgan and the job that they do for their clients. I mean, look, it's like talking about Jalen Hurts, or it's like talking about, what we were hoping for. You don't do that at Morgan & Morgan. This is about facts. Last 30 years, they've collected $13.5 billion in compensation for you, the clients. That's right, 800 attorneys strong, and offices in Philly, New York, Florida, across the country. Morgan & Morgan, I've known John Morgan for over 25 years. The call is free, 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The consultation is free, 800-512-1600. Open 24/7, 7 days a week. Do me a favor. When you call Morgan & Morgan, you tell them Dan Sileo sent you.
Many times when people are injured at a place of business, they don't realize they may have a case. The fact is, injuries should not happen. And most of the time when someone is injured, someone is at fault. Maybe the store manager installed a cheap, slippery floor, or there wasn't proper security. After an injury at a hotel, restaurant, store, or any place of business, it's so important to call us. Time matters, size matters. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.
Go for the pulls and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
At Action News, we cherish every moment, and it's our profound responsibility to bring you closer to your world. Never miss a moment. Trust the people at Action News.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake 'em out. Mama go up, up, up.
She did it.
Again? You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh. Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Tell me who I am. Let's play charades for a second. Hit the like button. Don't forget John McMullen, 5:30 Eastern Time. Who am I here? This is charades. Tell me who I am. Give you one guess. Who did I just do? Tell me. No, maybe that's not enough. Okay. Zeke, no. Popeye. No, he's a sports figure. Hooten. No. There you go. There you go, Charles. Then I shrink. Hey, here's Steph Curry. Watch. Hi, everyone. Yeah, we didn't get it done in the fourth. Hey, man, we were up by 17. But then once again in the finals, I shrink. Yeah, I know. Hey, man, walking around the first second, I'm like this. Yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, we got beat. Hey, Draymond, boy, are you a liability. I hate Golden State. I hate Golden State. Oh, man, do I hate that team. Oh, Steph, man. I was so happy they shrunk last night. Oh, man. Xander hates the Celtics. Of course you do. You're a Sixer. Of course you do. Really? This just in. Wow. That's an epiphany. Wait a minute. A guy who was born and raised in Philly hates Boston. Shit, bro. I had not heard that one before. Hey, by the way, gaming, trust me, the NBA gets as much play here as Girardi getting fired does. Okay? Hey, man, I couldn't tell you how much. Oh, I loved it too, man. You just start seeing Al Horford was making threes last night. Al Horford. What did they make, like 30? I think they went on like a 40-16 run in the fourth. It was like insane. I'm like, okay, that's not Boston. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, Steph Curry, once again, Yeah, we shrank a little bit. Or I shrank. Oh, man. There's certain guys that rise to an occasion, but then there's certain guys who don't in championship moments. That guy ain't it. There's a reason he hasn't won a finals MVP. Okay? Great regular season player. Transformed the three-point. No question. Not sure he's a closeout dude. Iguodala. Wait, oh my God, a former Sixer. Iguodala, a sixth man, was an MVP over Steph Curry. Iguodala. Woo! Iguodala. Oh, man. Yo. What's that about? How you doing? Another list. Big Sills loves lists. You know that. Oh, man. The Celtics will not win this series. Oh, really? Did you see what that team did to that thing? At home. At home. It was the first time the Warriors lost a postseason game this postseason, probably ever, in that new building, right? At home. I think that's the first. This is like a Howie Roseman summer Super Bowl from it's game one. All right. Hey, all I know is this, man. When I beat your ass in the first fight, I got the advantage on you in the second fight, Junior. I knocked your ass out. That wasn't winning by 2. You were up 17 and laid an egg. How could you be up 17 with the greatest backcourt shooters in history of the NBA? Well, we'll have to really play harder in the next series. Woo! Yeah. Mark says, hey, Sills, we Eagle fans don't really care to hear about our quarterback's deficiencies. Believe me. But let us enjoy our hopes for the upcoming improvements. In other words, back off. Hey, Junior, I'm picking you to win the NFC. I'm tired of you talking trash. Wait a minute here. So you're telling me I can't have an opinion that I think your QB ain't the dude. Letters to the editor. Letters to the editor. Oh, my God. Stan's talking bad about Poppy, Mr. Editor. Dan's not being nice. He is picking the Eagles to win the NFC. Yeah, but, I don't really like when, everything has to be cheerleading. We like pom-pom guys. Yeah, well, he ain't that guy. Yeah, but he should be. Hey, Xander, I think now you understand. I don't know. Maybe I got to just. Allison, we really don't care what you think. Let's see. You wouldn't be you if you backed off. Allison. My wife says that all the time too, Allison. Allison, you get what we're doing. Thank you. Allison, thank you. No, but Allison is right. Because my wife goes like this. Listen. Wait a minute. No. Allison's right. Because watch this. They barely come here for your sports takes. So just know that. Okay? So if you're talking about shit no one cares, Dan, don't worry, Allison. I gotcha. Hey, Nathan, that's a great line. I didn't think Philadelphians were thin-skinned. Easy, Big Dan. You're going Lenny Dykstra on us. No, bro. We learned a lesson on that. Say whatever you want. That's no more of that rule. Hey, we're editing that rule. I told Bruce Arians that was cool. Hey, say whatever you want. You know what? That line won't be used any longer. As long as Big Sills is doing the show, that's not going to be, go ahead, say what you want. Xander goes like this. You know what your mistake was? And I'm like, asking him about, telling him it was all right. And I went like this, I got it. Right. Right. Hey, don't worry about it. Oh, boy. So we go from Lenny Dykstra to Doc Rivers to Phil Simms. At least 2 of the 3 stayed on the rails. Oh, my God, that's a great segment. Mean tweets. Edge goes, is Sills hurting people's feelings again? Come on, man. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because I don't like to hurt anyone's feelings. That's not what I will. I won't do that. Someone say rails. It's funny, Randall. You hated the interview, but I saw you on Sports Take. Hey, Xander. So, Randall, I'm going to call Randall out here. Randall, you're getting called out now. Randall hated the Lenny Dykstra interview, but it's funny. I saw you on Sports Take quoting it, and you've constantly been quoting it. It must have left an indelible, mark on you somehow. I know it did me. I had a shower after the show. Zach Sills just likes pushing the button. Your Honor, do I really look like I push buttons? Do I? I'm sorry. I got a Twitch working here. Hold on here. By the way, I know I've teased this thing. I'm going to do it at the top of the hour. Okay? Because I got a comment here I want to make. All kidding aside here. Sills ranked Hurts 17th. I'll tell Chris Sims that when he comes on next week. Hey, so Isaac Seumalo is in the news, and his name's being floated around. I don't think that they would cut him because he's earmarked to be your starter at right guard. But let me throw this out at you here. And by the way, Jason, I'm not saying this. Jason Kelsey says he's underappreciated. He is great for our room. He is really a monster. He's going into the final year of his contract. If I'm not mistaken, guys, help me out on this. He signed a contract extension in 2017. Does that sound right? He signed a contract extension in 19. Okay? He signed a contract extension in 2019. He was a third-round pick. He's earmarked to make $5.65 million this year. Why hasn't Howie given him a contract extension? I love his boys. Goddard got one. Okay? Goddard got a contract extension. They even restructured. They brought Derek Barnett back. They restructured Fletcher's deal. Are they just going to let Seumalo walk out the building if he starts? How are they going to handle this? This is his final year of his contract. They're letting him walk into the regular season with no deal even on the table. What do you make of that? In a position that the Eagles are known to be exceptionally strong at in evaluating, and they have since 2000. Okay? Why would they not give him a contract extension? Mulata got one too. Howie said, Sills, I got you. All right, raise it. Competition. So, Philly, you think if he wins that position at the end of camp, they'll come to him? Look, I don't know. I'm asking here, okay? I mean, how are they playing this? They just draft a kid to be the heir apparent at center, right? This kid Juergens. I doubt they'll move him over. He's not big enough to play the right guard position. You got to be a horse over there. And they got horses in the building. They're pretty deep there. What would you think that they would maybe trade him during camp? Or that still yet to be determined? Could they trade him? You know, I read an article where there was a thought that they might even cut him. And that I did not believe. And by the way, I'm talking out loud here. I'm not saying I said that. I never said that. I would never cut him. I'm not cutting quality O-linemen. I don't give a shit what it is. I would cut that turd Derek Barnett before I'd cut this guy. I'm not doing that. However, why hasn't Howie come to him with a deal? Jimmy, thank you. Really. I've never been involved in anything like that in my entire life. I would trade Dillard and him for Bates. Jordan Mailata was a top lineman last year, earned his extension. Seumalo always has been a backup who filled in and got to want his new contract. If he wins the starting role and does well, he'll get his money. Well, why wouldn't I do this, Philly? If I play well, I'm not going to give the Eagles a hometown discount. Why would I do that? So wait a minute. You think I'm playing for Howie and his books? If you're going into the 2022 season and you're Isaac Seumalo and I'm rolling into that and you're not giving me a contract extension and I win that right guard spot, unless I'm not giving you some hometown discount like Jordan Mailata did, why would I? I would go into the open market and I would make double the money I guarantee you Howie Roseman would offer me. Now, I would do this. If it becomes apparent that he's going to win that job in training camp, I would go to him during training camp and say, listen, I got a deal here for you, 3-year contract extension. I mean, you're paying it back up 5.65. That's a pretty big number. For a guy who's a spot player, you're paying him $5.5 million. That's a lot to sit on the bench and go in on special teams. That's a lot of dough. So you're talking about a starter in the NFL. You're talking a $10 million contract here. See, what's happening in the NFL, here's who you have to figure out who to pay now. Do you know what's becoming very apparent to me? Look at what's going on in the NFL now. You can't pay top flight wideouts and top flight quarterbacks giant deals. Take a look at where all the big contracts take a look at all the big contracts where you're looking at really, I mean, Kirk Cousins is at a discount now. That $87 million deal he signed in Minnesota. And Justin Jefferson's going to make 20. Justin Jefferson's probably going to make as much as Kirk Cousins. You get Tyreek Hill down in Miami. Why? Because you're paying Tua a rookie contract. Devontae Adams. Derek Carr's not making a killing. He's not making $40 million. I don't think you could pay. Look at Devontae Adams. The Packers moved off at Devontae Adams because they weren't going to pay a wideout $25 million like the Raiders did. I don't think teams are going to pay. You're not going to see this. I don't think you're going to see this. You're going to see $45 million. Kansas City moved off the hill because they're paying the quarterback $50 million. The reason A.J. Brown is in Philly is because you're not paying your quarterback shit. The backup quarterback makes more. Hell, Bryce Young at Alabama makes more than Jalen Hurts. Double. Bryce Young makes $3.5 million at Alabama. Jalen Hurts makes 1.2. Okay? Hey, you're not going to be able to pay quarterbacks $50 million. Wide receivers, $25 million. O-linemen, $18 million, and keep a team together. You can't. You can't. So having a backup like Seumalo making $10 million, or you're going to pay him more. You're going to pay him 10, Mailata 10, Dickerson 10, Lane 10. So you think you're going to put $50 million into your old line a year? Pay your quarterback 40. That's $90 million. In 6 guys. And, oh, wait, no, I forgot. Your $25 million a year guy over at the wideout position. You're paying $115 million for 7 guys. Okay, well, I still got other receivers, Devontae, and I even got to, Hassan Reddick and the $14 million you're paying Fletcher, the $13 million you're paying Hargrave, the 10 you're paying Bradbury, the 10 you're paying Slay. You got to figure out what positions to pay. I don't think you can have a $50 million, $45 million, $40 million quarterback Look at what the Cowboys did. They had to move off of Amari Cooper. They got CeeDee Lamb still on a rookie contract. The cap will expand. However, watch this. What do you think the Eagles would do? You think the Eagles would keep who do you think the Eagles would keep? A.J. Brown or Jalen Hurts? If they had to cut one guy right now. They'd cut Jalen and put Minshew in there. They would. They wouldn't go, hold on, let's pay him 40 and cut AJ. They're not cutting AJ. Money, you think they'd cut AJ Brown over Jalen Hurts? You think they would cut AJ Brown? One of the top players in the NFL, you think they'd cut him? All right, I'm going to have to towel off here. Right? They would cut A.J. Brown. You're trying to acquire really good players. All right, let me do my top 20 NFL players. Okay, let's do my top 20 NFL players. We'll do that at the top of the hour. By the way, 5:30 Eastern time, John McMullen, live from Eagles OTAs. If you missed any of the first hour, don't forget Phil Simms was on with us, and he picked the Eagles to win the East. You should hear it. He wasn't a fan of Jalen, though, but he picked them to win the East. Hit the like button. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.
Go for the polls and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
At Action News, we cherish every moment, and it's our profound responsibility to bring you closer to your world. Never miss a moment. Trust the people at Action News.
All right, did you know I was the mommy slam dunk champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake a mom. Mama go up,
She did it.
Again? You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh. Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Oh, my God. Big Sills, Hour 3 National Football Show. John McMullen, bottom of the hour. 5:30 Eastern time, live from Eagles OTAs. So the Rays have a $65 million payroll, are always in contention for the World Series, and the Phillies spent $220 million on payroll and can't do shit with it. Oh, my God. Hey, I'll say it again. How do the Rays contend in the American League East with Boston and New York with a $63 million payroll? The Phillies spent $220 and can't do shit with it and have sucked for a decade. What's that record? Since Charlie Manuel was blown out in 13, 586, 701, and 4 managers. Congratulations to you. Sounds like your scouting department has done a really good job. Okay, hey, wait, that's it. That's all you get. Because I've been telling you the same shit since I came on the air here. Their player development is, hey, analytics are good, but the eyeball test never fails. It never fails. That guy's good. That guy sucks. Yeah, well, you're like, okay. All right, hey, I'm going to get to my top 20 NFL players, but I want to hit one thing on Deshaun Watson here. Okay? What was the line? What was the line that Rusty Hardin said in an interview in Houston? I gotta get the quote. Now, Rusty Hardin is defending Deshaun Watson in these civil cases. And trust me when I tell you, the National Football League wants Deshaun Watson and Rusty Hardin to be quiet. But that's not exactly what was said. And at the end of an interview, okay, this is what Rusty Hardin's comments were. Happy endings to a massage is not illegal. And dude, you didn't help that kid out. I would fire him immediately. He don't speak for me. You're in a Me Too environment. That sounds terrible, even if it's in your own mind true. Shut up. It would not shock me now if the commissioner of the NFL suspended him for a full year. You brought undue criticism to the league, whatever the punishment's going to be. People would have been like, how about this? People would have went like this. 8 games, okay. All right. Okay. Right, Xander? You just made the commissioner have to put his feet were in sand a little bit. He can maneuver around. Now he's in cement. You made his decision more concrete that he's got to suspend you for 8 games or more. What a catastrophic look. By the way, the context of it is true. Massages and happy endings are illegal, especially when a courtroom came out with that decision. But we're talking about a league that likes the court of public opinion. It kind of legislates in the court of public opinion. I think more harm has been done today to Deshaun Watson's future in Cleveland this year than any other time during this case. Yeah, but he's innocent still. It's not the point. It's not the point. You're trying to outrun this, not consistently bring this up. And by the way, can I tell you why the NFL is going to use this? What does the NFL have going on right now in Capitol Hill? They want the commissioner of the NFL and Daniel Snyder to testify in front of the House committee when it comes to job and job environment. They're saying that the Washington Commanders is a hostile environment to work in. And the Appropriations Committee is looking at this right now. And they're asking them, okay, they just locked the guy up from the Trump administration. He had to get what? He was cuffed today because he didn't show up to a hearing. The NFL right now wants that story to go away. So they're going to throw Deshaun Watson under a bus on this. Dude, Rusty Harden, see something? Just shut up. Don't say anything. You don't have to. The less you say now, the better off your client's in. Happy endings. My God. I was like this. Damn, but he didn't do anything. It's not the point. The league is going to get a shitstorm of pushback from the Me Too. Oh, here's a bunch of white guys, a bunch of Republicans and conservatives not giving a shit about women and work environment. Look, here's a great example of it here. They don't care about women. You got an attorney representing a guy with 23 cases out there like that. Even if he has 90% of the truth on his side, it's not having the facts don't matter here. Since when did the facts ever matter in a public opinion case when the NFL's involved? What a shit dumb move. I would have called my attorney up and said, bro, what are you doing, man? People in Cleveland hate me, or half the room hates me already. Not smart. Do you know what you do? You go to an island, you burn the bridges, you don't let anyone on until the case is over, or you're trying to outrun this. You had everything. You had sales going in a great direction. Too bad, dude. Deshaun Watson is going to be suspended for a pretty lengthy time. He's not going to get over on this. The league would have a shitstorm after those comments. Well, attorney doesn't care. They're not taking this case serious. That's what it comes off as. 23 women sexually assaulted publicly. That's out there like that. And you think the NFL is not going to put their feet in cement with this? How dumb can you get? All right. Let's move on here. I'm going to give you my top 20. By the way, don't forget John McMullen, bottom of the hour, from JAKIB Sports and from Birds 365, bottom of the hour. Does a great job with Jody. That show does a great job in the morning. And he was out at Eagles OTAs, and John will give us a spin on what he saw out there, and he will give us his thoughts. That'll be at the bottom, 5:30 Eastern time. All right. My top 20 NFL players, any position. Any position. Okay? Here we go. At number 20, I got Nick Bosa, defensive end, San Francisco 49ers. One of the absolute best players in a defensive line in the National Football League. I would say this to you. He's probably the second best defensive lineman. The gap between the best quarterback in the NFL and the second best quarterback in the NFL is pretty small. The gap between Donald and Bosa is wide. However, this kid's the heir apparent. I think he's the best edge rusher, pass rusher, 34-43. He's better than his brother Joey. His brother Joey's damn good. Okay? Number 19, I got Justin Herbert, Chargers. Quarterback. Remember something here. This is the best players in the league. Doesn't matter what the position is. I think Justin Herbert, in my opinion, is a rising star. These are the best players, in my opinion. Top 20 players. Number 18, Deebo Samuel. 49ers. Versatile, tough, plays in the run game, massive in the pass game. great leader, great team guy. I mean, there's no question. You're talking an elite of elite here. Number 17, Derrick Henry, Titans, running back. This guy is the closest thing I've seen to Eric Dickerson and Earl Campbell rolled into one with a little Adrian Peterson. Who in their right mind thought that that guy was a second-round draft choice? Organizations must be looking at that. That's why Najee Harris went in the first. Najee Harris went in the first round because everybody effed up on Derrick Henry. I'll never forget, and I've told you this story. Derrick Henry, okay? We were watching that draft. Xander, you'll love this. My wife goes, that guy is the top 15 pick. My wife said that. She's like, yeah, she's like, that guy is amazing. She loved him at Alabama. But because people got with Clinton Richardson that the running backs at Alabama, I was like, he was completely different than Richardson. Richardson's first year wasn't all that bad. Okay? I think he was a 1,000-yard rusher, 900-something yards or something. I didn't go from like Cleveland to the Colts or something like that. You knew he was not going to make it for whatever reason. Number 16, I got Micah Parsons here. Cowboys. I mean, you wait till his contract is up. What's Jerry going to pay that guy? At number 15, Stephon Diggs, Bills, wide receiver. He was right. Get this. Can you imagine if Stephon Diggs had stayed in Minnesota? You'd have Diggs and Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Oh, man, oh, man. Hey, Minnesota could pick wideouts. Okay? Unlike the Eagles. Stephon Diggs, number 15. Number 14, Tyreek Hill, Dolphins, wide receiver. Best deep threat. And I would say this. A tick up from Deshaun Jackson. And the reason I say that because he's a tad bit better route runner. But he's a freak show. Number 13, Jalen Ramsey, Rams, cornerback, best cover corner in the NFL. It's not close, okay? Tremendous ball player, and the Rams got themselves, when they sent all those draft choices to Jacksonville, they were right to do it. Jacksonville still sucks, and the Rams have won a Super Bowl. Think about that. That pick worked for Les Snead and Kevin Demoff. Number 12, Myles Garrett, edge rusher, Browns. Elite pass rusher. Just elite. I mean, you have to account for him. Number 11, Travis Kelce. Chiefs, tight end. Best tight end in the NFL today. Now, we'll see how those numbers and how he's utilized without having Tyreek Hill in that huddle. That will be an interesting dynamic to watch in Kansas City and how Andy Reid does that. Number 10, Tom Brady, Buccaneers quarterback. I'll waste as little time as the debate will be whether he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Number 9, Aaron Rodgers, Packers quarterback. Obviously, the conversation is about postseason. Best thrower of the football I've ever seen. Number 8, Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs quarterback. Reason he's making $50 million. Tremendous talent. Number 7, Jamar Chase, Bengals, wide receiver. 1,500 yards his first year. Man, I mean, one thing LSU can do, friends, they can produce wideouts. I don't know what it is, but they can produce wideouts. Number 6, Devontae Adams, Raiders, wide receiver. Now, these are the top 20 players in the NFL, any position. Here's your top 5 players in the NFL, according to Big Cells. Justin Jefferson, Vikings, wide receiver. I hate to keep doing it to you, right? 150 catches a year, first 2 years, 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns are his first 2 years in the NFL with that sorry-ass Kirk Cousins. I can't believe when I look at those numbers, they're almost like Eric Dickerson-like. Eric Dickerson's first 2 years in the NFL, he had 4,000 rushing yards. Is that crazy? Had 4,000 rushing yards in his first 2 years in the NFL. 4,000. Number 4. These are the best players in the NFL, any position. TJ Watt, Steelers, edge rusher. The elite of the elites. Could he have another 20-sack season? Probably will. Number 3. Here are your top 3 players. Cooper Kupp, Rams, wide receiver. Historic year. And can you imagine what his contract's going to look like? They're already starting to negotiate. If they're talking about 26-7 for Justin Jefferson, what's this dude going to make? Number 2, Josh Allen, Bills. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL. And the number 1 player in the NFL is Aaron Donald, Rams. Think about this for a second here. The Rams have in the top 13 on my list for the best players in the league. You have the best corner in the game. You have the best wide receiver in the game. And you have the best pass rusher in the game. And your quarterback is good. Think of that. Got the best pass rusher, wide out, and corner. And they just gave Matthew Stafford a brand new contract. Hey, if I'm not, he just, who was the agency he signed with? Kanye West's agency, right? I don't know about this. You just got a brand new shoe deal. I don't know how you're going to sell shoes and sign with Kanye West's agency and you're going to be retired. And you're a defensive tackle. Ain't like you're Tom Brady or a quarterback. Okay? Those are my opinion, the best players in the NFL, top 20 guys. Do you have a problem with the list? Donald has almost 100 sacks in 8 years. That's a freak show. I think he's the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year as well. Okay? TJ Watt. You know the problem I have with TJ Watt compared to Donald? TJ Watt, not that great against the run. Okay? Not that great against the run. Okay? Hey, Manster, I'll tell you what I would do if I were the Browns. You got Baker Mayfield already for $18 million. Why don't you shut down Deshaun Watson for 1 year? Go to the league. Suspend him for the year. Baker Mayfield has 1 year. You're paying him anyway. Okay? You're paying him. And it gives Baker Mayfield an opportunity to showcase his talents for other people because you're already knee-deep into that Deshaun Watson deal. Why not? You haven't cut him. You're paying him $18 million. Hey, but here, Jeremiah, I would say this to you. So he ain't playing, okay? Then he's going to take a haircut. No, he's not going to take a haircut this year because they're owed the 18. How do you know he doesn't go out there and he doesn't lead the Browns to the Super Bowl? And then you have an even bigger problem when you got to get rid of him. And he's now increased his market value because right now he doesn't have a market value. it's a no-win. It's a no-lose scenario for him. If he goes out and plays, he's got to increase his market value. He's not going to increase his market value at home. Nobody's paying. And next year, he'll take a $3 million pay cut. He'll be making $3 million. I mean, Nathan, I would sit down with him and go, how about we do this? Listen, this whole thing, this could be beneficial to both of us here. Okay? You're getting paid anyway. It's a chance for you to increase your market value. It's a chance for the Browns to recover something, too, of number 1 overall pick. It's a win-win scenario. Here's the alternative. Baker gets cut and makes $3 million as a backup somewhere, where he could be on a team that's a contender in Cleveland, play it out. What if they win 11 games? What if they become a playoff team? All of a sudden now, he'd be one of the hottest free agents out there. Why not do it? The other alternative is you have no market value. And after next year, you're going to get an opportunity, but nobody's going to pay you $10 million to come into their building. Nobody's giving you $10 million. Yeah, but BR, they wanted the Browns to pay 14 of that $18 million. And Cleveland said, absolutely no way. He is already complaining about the shoulder. I don't know. I don't keep up on Baker Mayfield news. He's got no market value. Yeah, it was 14 of the 18 million. That's a lot, dude. That's why nobody bid on it. You know, what did the Steelers and the Seahawks say? Yeah, man, we'll be interested, but we ain't interested at $18 million. Not that price tag. Absolutely not that price tag. Absolutely not. Okay, I'm going to put this here. OC. Here, I got an idea, guys, because we're going to have John McMullen coming on here real soon. John was at OTAs today. Some questions you want me to ask John. By the way, right guard, I'm going to ask him about the Isaac Seumalo, how they're going to handle that. I want to ask him about Hassan Reddick, too, how they're going to use him. How Devontae's looking. That's what I'm going to do. Shane stretching or stitching. I'll tell you what, one thing's for sure. The Eagles got a bunch of guys I've never heard of as coaches, except for Tracy Rocker. Cam Newton. Cam Newton's washed, bro. Oh, yeah. Jordan Davis in shape. Yeah. Hopefully, man, that guy has to understand. You ain't on scholarship any longer, man. This is NFL here. You can't use the July training camps to get your butt in shape. Absolutely not. Gannon's defense? Yep, got it down here. You know, I don't know how much they're going to – see, the one thing that you're going to do now, because there is new personnel on the defense, especially on the defensive side of the ball, for OTAs, they're going to try to – what they like to do is, at least the coaches that I played for, they like to inundate the young players as much as possible to see how much they retain. Okay? To see how much they can retain of this. Hey, by the way, friends, before we get John McMullen on Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free here, that means this. Okay? Choosing an attorney is one of the most important things that you can possibly do. If you're hurt or injured on the job, that's what Morgan & Morgan is here for. For the people, it's not just a slogan. It is who they are, and it is what they do. Past 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has collected over $13.5 billion. Told you this number here. It's incredible. $13.5 billion for their clients because no law firm is bigger than Morgan & Morgan. There's no such thing as a fender bender. at Morgan & Morgan. Over 800 attorneys strong in offices in Philly, New York, Florida, across the country. Morgan & Morgan is going to go to battle for you to get you the fair compensation for you and your family. The call is free, 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600, open 24/7, 7 days a week. Just so you know, Morgan & Morgan and I have been friends for about 25 years. So we get that out of the way here too. I'm looking forward, by the way, to hearing about the optimism also that's at OTAs right now. And also, too, that comment I want to get on a little bit when it comes to how they're going to practice and how much Jalen, because I think, John, if I'm not mistaken, Xander told me this. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that John has said that Jalen Hurts is probably not going to see any time in the exhibition games. We just had Phil Simms on in the first hour, and Phil thinks that you need quality reps. And it's not so much that you get a boatload of plays during the exhibition games, but they're high-quality reps. Look, organized team practices and scrimmages, those aren't as quality reps as being in an exhibition game. Because, again, you got to be put in an environment like that when everything is not working in your favor. And when you got a quality controlled practice like that, those scenarios, in my opinion, don't give you a true sense of what the quarterback's understanding of what he has to do when it comes to progression reading. So Phil's right when he says that. By the way, if you missed any of that interview, that was in the first hour. And Rico, that's even more important right there, what Rico just said. Talking about game tempo, there is no substitute. Rico, you can, as much as we used to try to practice game tempo as we possibly could, there is no substitute for game tempo when you're in a game and you know exactly, especially when you have veteran guys. And when you're not practicing that game tempo, you get a sense of it. You get an understanding of it too. So there is an absolute ton of optimism at the Eagles. And by the way, Phil Simms in the first hour said today he's picking the Eagles to win the NFC East. Let's go to our friend John McMullen, who's on with Jody in the morning at Birds 65. They do a spectacular job, and John is so kind to join us after being out there, watching the guys running around out there at OTAs. John, I appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much. There is a lot of optimism out there, isn't there, John?
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's been a lot of additions, a lot of high-profile additions, obviously, Dan. So I think there's a lot of excitement about this team. I heard you just mention Phil Simms picked them to win the NFC East. I know Peter King had them as a top 10 team in his power rankings. I don't know. I know if everything falls together, they could be that good. Starts with the quarterback, though. I mean, is the quarterback going to be able to hold his water, make everyone happy now that you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Kenny Gainwell, Miles Sanders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Top 5 offensive line at the worst, maybe the best in football. And now you have all these difference makers on defense, potential difference makers, both veterans, the Hassan Reddicks, the James Bradburys, rookies, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. Looks good on paper, but, you know, nobody wins anything on paper, Dan.
That's right.
Everybody who gets declared the offseason winner seems to never win when they get on the field.
That's right. Rent's due in September, John. John, too much hype?
I think it depends who you are. Like I use Peters. I've talked about on Birds 365. I'm not criticizing Peter. He's got a wonderful reputation, Peter King. But I look at, you know, the top 8 teams he had. They all had great quarterbacks, every single one of them. And then came the demarcation line of the Eagles at 9, San Francisco at 10. Now, San Francisco doesn't have a great quarterback situation either with Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance. But I look at San Francisco and I say that's the team the Eagles want to be, because they've already made the Super Bowl. They've made the Final Four. So twice in the last 3 years. And guess what? The only year they didn't, it was about injuries. Because Nick Bosa, I think, is one of the most underrated players in football. I think he's a true game wrecker on the defensive side of the football. So as a rookie, they go to the Super Bowl. Should have won the Super Bowl, by the way. Then he got hurt his second year. Then he's back last year. They make it to the NFC Championship game. Coincidence? Obviously, it's about much more than him, but I think he's that type of difference maker. But I look at it all over the field. Jordan Mailata, for instance, great story, great player. He's not Trent Williams. Dallas Goedert, great player, potential to be a top 5 tight end in this league. He's not George Kittle. Deebo Samuel, the Eagles brought in A.J. Brown, so maybe that's a little bit more equal. But you go up and down, the true difference maker San Francisco has. Look at linebacker with Fred Warner. Maybe Nakobe Dean becomes Fred Warner. Not now. Not yet. So I do think some people are skipping some steps when it comes to the Eagles. That's how I describe it.
How about this, John? I've said this before. Anytime you have a coordinator change, it's not so much a change. It's a different voice and a different philosophy. When Frank Reich left Carson Wentz, there was no question. There was a difference in how the plays were called and how he heard the plays. There's always a philosophy change. John, I can read the same Philadelphia Inquirer to you, but some way a guy like Limbaugh can give it to you more entertaining. Me, on the other hand, I may not be as entertaining. It's just the way that you communicate with your quarterback. Do you think that is going to be any kind of difference in how Jalen hears the plays? Is he more comfortable hearing it from him? Or is it Sirianni wanting to get more control of the entire team and maybe focusing a tad bit more on the defensive side, which he did in a year ago? Or is it all of that?
Well, number one, the Eagles already did this. They did this midseason last year. So I think a lot of people don't realize that Shane Steichen was calling the plays last year as they made their run toward the playoffs. Most of it from Nick's standpoint was, he wanted to take a bigger – it's a big job. And as a head coach in this league, Dan, there's no – you can be a coordinator for years and years and years. And I've talked to a lot of head coaches over the years. The one thing they always say, I always ask them, what is different? What's changed for you? What is it about the jump from coordinator to, could be offense, defense, to a head coach? To a man, they all say, I didn't know how much stuff not involving football I had to deal with. It's just a really, really big job. And then when you get to game day, forget about all logistics. Things like today, you got to map out the entire offseason, right? You got to map out training camp. You got to map out the schedule, who you're going to practice, when you're going to practice, all within the limits of the CBA. That alone is a big part of the job that nobody thinks about, nobody cares about. And understandably so, because it's not sexy. But when you talk about game days, you got so many things going on. Time management might be the most obvious. How many people Andy Reid's going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame coach. How many people have criticized Andy over the years for time management? When you're bogged down thinking about the next play call, you can't be worried about, I got to take this time out before the 2-minute warning. I can't make this mistake. I've always liked, I tell this to Jody all the time. I love CEO coaches. I don't want a coach who's going to call plays. I don't want it, because I want them involved with the entire team. If something's going wrong defensively, I want him to be able to go over to the defensive coordinator and say, look, this isn't working. We got to change something. Same thing with special teams, same things with game management. I always think Sean McVay, right? He's the flavor of the month. When Sean first got the Rams job, he brought in Wade Phillips, great coordinator. He used to go sit on the bench when the defense was on the field. He wasn't even paying attention.
Right.
Wasn't even paying attention to the game. So to me, the NFL, and you could probably speak to this as a former player, has become more and more specialized, even with the coaching. So, in essence, for most teams, you have co-coaches, right? You have somebody that deals with the offense and somebody that deals with the defense. And one guy's got to stand up and take the heat more than the other. That's the only difference. Because the other guy does all the work on his side of the ball. With the CEO coaches, it's not like that. And Bill Belichick, most notably, and Andy has turned into that.
Jimmy Johnson, John. I mean,
Jimmy,
I don't ever remember Jimmy with a play call in a game in my entire life. I never heard him call a play.
Yeah. And, there have been great play calling head coaches, obviously. Great. Because most of them are. There are fewer CEO coaches than ever before, and it seems to be going more that direction. I like it. I think it's the way to go. I think people don't realize you game plan all week, right? This stuff, you have your openers, you have your however many plays you're going to script. You're going to have your third down plays. You're going to have your red zone plays. All of this is built into the game plan. So if you do everything right during the week, you have the offensive coordinator doing what you want to do anyway. And as Shane Steichen said today, look, if Nick wants something called during the game, he tells me to call it. So you can always get in the headphone and say, look, right now we need this. But I like the fact that Nick Sirianni has given play calling, game day play calling over to Shane Steichen. And again, he did it last year. Really, for the final half of the season, this was already in place.
A couple last questions for you. I know, John, you've had a long day here. Let me throw this at you here with, the right guard in that battle that's going to go into training camp. Isaac Seumalo is going into his final year, John. He has not been offered a contract extension. He makes now 5.76, I believe it is, and he's been a backup. He signed that extension in 2019. Do you see them going to him if he is the apparent winner of that job, or do you see that Howie is going to let him roll through the rest of the season? Because one thing you don't see a lot of, John, any longer is quality O-linemen on the open market, because they get gobbled up and you get big money. How do you see that playing out? Because, he's not been offered a deal, and he is going into the final year of his contract.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult, Dan, because of the money Isaac makes. And I'll also say he's only played 9 games over the past 2 years. So that factors into it as well. He's been injury prone, whatever you want to call it. It's not his fault, but it is what it is. He's played actually 12. I think the total of 12 games over the past 2 years. So you have that part of it. And yeah, he's not going to get an extension until he proves he's healthy, number one. The second part that complicates it is Jack Driscoll. The Eagles really like Jack Driscoll. They really thought they found something. They drafted him to be a right tackle. He moved inside the right guard last year, and he seemed to be a natural for it. And he's going to be the starter for the Eagles at right guard in 2023. So do you want to start early?
You think they could move him, John, before the start of the season?
Yeah, especially, the one glaring hole on this team right now is safety. If they can, everybody looks at Baltimore and says Chuck Clark because they signed Marcus Williams, they drafted Kyle Hamilton. I'm sure Howie's been on the phone already and said, look, I don't know where most people talk about wide receiver and Jalen Reagor when it comes to the Ravens. Everybody needs good offensive linemen, though. Could be a safety somewhere else. As you said, this is an offensive line deficient league. Isaac Seumalo is a starting level player when healthy in the NFL. Nobody doubts that. Nobody on the Eagles is disparaging him. He's a good player, but so is Jack Driscoll. He's a starting level player, and he's cheaper and he's younger. Now, he's had his own injury issues as well. He's got to prove he can stay healthy. But from that process, the thought is, well, Isaac is probably going to play out his contract and go somewhere else, and Jack's going to be the guy in 2023 anyway. So then you start thinking about all those things. Ultimately, they're not going to give him away. They're not going to release Isaac Seumalo. But if there's a trade that they can swing, he's a valuable chip that maybe, they can bring in a safety, use him to do that, and then you open up the spot for Jack Driscoll. But even then, you got to be concerned about depth, because when we talk about depth with the Eagles, if you trade Isaac, if you trade Andre Dillard, all of a sudden that depth is gone. That's how quick it can happen.
Absolutely. One last question for you here. We've had numerous conversations about the talent level, and you correct me if you think I'm wrong on this, on Jordan Davis. I look at Jordan Davis like this, John. Here's a guy here, 43 games at Georgia and 9 sacks. Tracy Rocker recruited him. Tracy knows him. I know Tracy very well. I played with him professionally. I think he could teach him an awful lot of things. Tracy's a really good defensive line coach. However, then I see him run the 4.78 at 340 whatever pounds it is. He's an enormous guy. His potential and his production have not equaled, John. And then when you add a conditioning component to him, Gary Cobb, every time he sees him, he thinks he's out of shape. Is it just a young player? Because I said this before, John, about Calais Campbell. I thought Calais had all those intangibles. I never thought Calais was very productive at Miami, but he became a Hall of Fame type NFL player because he got better coaching. So, and I'm not saying that the coaching at Georgia's not great. Obviously, they got some of the greatest coaches in the world there. How do you see Jordan Davis's potential and how they use him this year going into the regular season?
Well, part of what you said about production versus, the traits, and, his production didn't meet his traits. You could say the same thing about Travon Walker, who was the #1 overall pick.
True.
And part of the reason why is because Georgia was so deep and so talented, they didn't ask those guys to do what they're going to be asked to do at the professional level.
Fair.
They were, in the case of Jordan, I always joke, people go nuts about Nakobe Dean, who was the 3rd round pick, because, you put on the highlight reel and you see him making all those plays. And I tell everybody, look in front of those plays and you see big Jordan Davis, tying up 2 blockers and allowing Nakobe Dean to get to the football. I think that's his floor as a player. I think his floor is the high level Vita Vea, 2 down type
Vince
run
Wilfork?
stuffer. Yeah, that type of player. I think that's his floor. His ceiling, because he's so athletic, he's so wild. You don't see people. He's 6 foot. I just saw him today. He's 6'6". He's 340 pounds. And and G Cobb was there with me today, and G Cobb has played in the league. I'll tell you what, for a 340-pound guy, he don't look fat.
Huh.
He carries the weight well. But Dan, I mean, you still got records in the Miami weight room, right?
Yeah.
Most guys who come into the NFL, they got to get stronger. They got to get stronger.
True.
They got to get sort of, whether you want to call it functional football strength, grown man strength. I saw Brandon Graham today. Brandon is 34 years old now. He looks like Hercules. He didn't look like that when he came in. People grow into their bodies. This guy's body is freakish. And the fact that he can grow into it, yeah, he's not used to playing 50, 60 snaps. because he didn't have to at Georgia. So there is a conditioning aspect of it to get to that point. And the Eagles probably aren't going to get there this year. But 2, 3, 4 years down the road, if he can rush the passer, he's going to be a 3-down player. And look, I'll take Vita Vea. Vita Vea can't, look, he can push the pocket, but he's not Aaron Donald on the pass rush, but he just dominates people. And I'll tell you what, if you give me 2nd and 10 and 3rd and 12, because the big guy in the middle, stopped him for a 2-yard loss, all right, go leave the field. I'll bring in my pass rush.
Such a great perspective that I never thought about, that he actually will affect the 3rd down pass rush by keeping him in 1st and long. That's you're right. He affects the 3rd down, right, John? If he's stuffing the run.
Yeah. It's big difference, in this league.
Yep.
For these quarterbacks, 3rd and 3 is easy. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12 isn't easy. And that's what the Eagles weren't good at last year. There were too many 3rd and shorts. If they have that run stopper who can put them in 3rd and longs, the opposition, all of a sudden now you have Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham back and Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave. Hey, you can take time with Jordan Davis.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I'll close on this with you. I don't know if I've ever seen a bigger NFL team in my Hey, John, when you walk out there and you see Mulata and you see Davis and you see Dickerson and you see Fletcher. I mean, Fletcher must look like the small dude. Hargrave must look tiny out there next to these Lane Johnson.
I mean, it's amazing. Tyree Jackson was out there who, is still rehabbing from his ACL. He had a big brace on his knee, the backup tight end, used to play quarterback at Buffalo. He's 6'8", and he was standing next to Matt Leo, who's a backup defensive lineman, who's 6'7". Yeah, they got a lot of big guys, but it starts with the Jordans, Jordan Mailata and Jordan Davis. And that left side of their offensive line, by the way, Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson. Woof. That's why they're not moving Landon, because you got 380, and I know they list Jordan at 360. He hasn't seen 360 in 2 years. And he's another guy. By the way. He's 380, and he's not fat. He's an unbelievable athlete, and Dickerson's about 330. So he's more of a runt, but you can see 700 plus pounds, and you're wondering why they led the league in rushing. Well, Jalen Hurts plays into that as well.
Hey, John, I'm not taking them dudes to any Waffle Houses. I can tell you that.
Jordan is one of the biggest people I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he is and he's good at everything. He's a great singer. I'm sure you've heard him. Great bowler the other day. Does everything well. It's amazing.
I love it, man. Hey, John, thank you for taking so much time with us here, man. I so appreciate it. Love you guys in the morning, too. Birds 365 with Jody. You guys do a spectacular job. And also, to the new website, new content there for us, too. So I'm sure you're going to have a whole bunch of articles up because of OTAs.
Coming off today, JAKIBsports.com. Already up. The play caller, Shane Steichen, is going to be there. They made a bunch of moves in the front office, which we've been talking about on Birds 365. They officially announced them. A couple assistant GM promotions, John Ferrari, Alec Hallaby. So more of the football operations side than the scouting side. So I'm sure people will love that when they talk about Howie Roseman.
Way to light the fire. Watch this, John. Here you are. Thank you, John. Have a great weekend, my friend.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thank you. The great John McMullen joining us here. We really appreciate him taking time. John's been out there. Dude, I'm going to tell you guys. Dude, that was great stuff there. I had never thought about that in what John just said and how important that is. I kind of look. I'm wrong here because John's right. And this is Jordan Mailata here. Or no, excuse me. This is Jordan Davis I'm talking about. So Vince Wilfork was never a third down pass rusher in New England. Villa Veda's not either with the Buccaneers. But how many times do you remember watching those Belichick teams where consistently the Belichick defenses had teams in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 7, because they had stuffed the run so effectively, and you had Darrelle Revis at the quarterback position, Darius Slay, that you consistently kept that unit that you were playing against in 3rd and long. Okay? Okay? Think about that for a minute. And John's insight is right. And it, forgive me on that, because stopping the run has to be the number one priority. How many times do we see this in NFL games? Look at what Andy Reid did to the Eagles a year ago. Ran the ball for 200 yards. He didn't have to throw the ball. They just ran the ball, ran the clock off, killed you, and that was it. Good night. See you later. On the buses, back to KC. If you can run the ball, look at how many times that the Eagles did last year when they ran teams off the field like the Saints. Ran them. Okay? You effectively handled time of possession with your own offense, and your defense stuffed that Saints offense last year. Remember something about that Saints team. The Eagles handled them effectively. The Bucs, Tom Brady hasn't beaten the Saints yet since he's been a Buccaneer. Regular season. Okay? They're not going to play Jalen in the preseason at all, Sills. Didn't last year. I don't know how you get better than Seth. Okay? I don't know how he gets better. Hey, Mike, Bruce Smith got to rush the passer on 3rd down because you couldn't run on Ted Washington. Exactly. That is, and also, too, Sam Adams in there. Remember Adams? The other big, giant defensive tackle they had in there? They had Washington, and then they had that kid Adams in there. And they had horses in the middle, and guys like Cornelius Bennett, Darryl Talley, and Bruce Smith with the Bills would rush the perimeter. Absolutely. It's a really great take by John. It's a great take. Effectively stuffing the run. So, again, you put those two horses in there, and Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis, and you're stuffing the run, and all of a sudden on 3rd down, you're rushing with Sweat and Hassan Reddick coming off the edges on 3rd down. That to me, see, when I hear people saying, let's move the team to a 34. Why? Why would I want to move the team to a 34? Those two big horses can't set the perimeter. You're going to need to be in a forefront more. And my talent's in my defensive line, not my linebacking core. Jim says, how many Super Bowls? Hey, Jim, the Bills did something you'll never see again ever happen in the history of the league. Winning 4 straight AFC championships. Agreed. They didn't close, but you'll never see that again in pro football history. An NFL team in today's salary cap era making it to that game 4 times in a row. You'll never see that. Ever. High says the practices with other teams. No, he's not. Controlled scrimmages, dude. It's like pro day. Pro day is a perfect scenario. No NFL game is a perfect day. I'm with you, High. 4-3 all day, man. 4-3 all day. Nate, 4 L's in the Super Bowl. I get it. I get it. Okay, but you'll never see 4 straight AFC championship games and 4 straight AFC wins. You'll never see. You couldn't do it in Philly. All them NFC championship games you made, you didn't win back-to-back NFC championships. Okay, I get the Super Bowl losses. I'm not dismissing that. You got to win one of them things. to be considered legendary. I'm with you. Totally with you. I understand that. You're dead right. You've got to close. Hey, Nate, I'll say this to you, man. I think that Bills team's pretty damn good. Bills and Eagles in the Super Bowl? I think I've already predicted that. All right, guys. I hope everybody has a spectacular weekend. I want to thank John McMullen and Phil Simms for coming aboard today. They were both spectacular. We've had a pretty big week. Doc Rivers was yesterday, too. So if you want to go back and watch that, do me a favor. Don't go back and watch the Lenny Dykstra one. I don't know. Me and Xander, we're trying to scrub that from our minds. So, hey, we appreciate everybody coming aboard. Monday, Gary Cobb will join us. Also, Chris Sims is going to join us either Monday or Tuesday of next week. So we really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. If you missed any of the show, watch it, share it, like it. Please hit the like button on the way out the door. Till Monday morning, 3 to 6, Monday afternoon, I should say. We'll see you on the flip side.